recording. We're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2. We're live.
Good morning, Owasso. This is the Twins with Owasso Live, and this is the Morning Loop. It is currently 8 a.m. It is 38 degrees outside, incredibly foggy. It might be more foggy than it was yesterday, and we have a high of about 48 today. So it's warm, comparatively speaking, to what it's been in those negative degrees. So congratulations for that. So it's really like light hoodie weather, long pants hoodie weather. I mean, you could probably get away with walking around in shorts. I wouldn't recommend it, maybe if you're going to the gym. But it was less foggy this morning when we actually went to the gym this morning. Like, we could see the billboard earlier today, and now we can't. Like, the fog has settled back in so deeply that the billboard's gone, the train bridge is gone. We can't see anything much past the bridge that goes over 76th Street. So,
Yep.
and as you can tell, traffic is slow. I mean, it is not looking good for you commuting to Tulsa right now. If you hadn't left earlier, you're probably not going to make it to work on time today because it is standstill over there on 71st Street, or excuse me, 76th Street. So, be advised, traffic conditions are slow, visibility is low too. So, be careful on your commute into Tulsa today. Now, the upcoming events have not changed as far as I know. All of the same events on the calendar are still currently going. I think maybe one more was added. Why don't you let us know what's going on there, Chad?
Sure. Said I've got on the calendar right now, and this is from Owassoisms. The Veterans of Foreign War Breakfast is the 27th, 7 a.m. to 10 a.m., and that's at the Owasso Community Center.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's also the Blood Drive, which starts at 8 a.m. to 1 p.m., and that's also at the Owasso Community Center. And then the Owasso Band is hosting a trivia night at the Owasso High School. And that is the only new thing that got added this week. Like I said, nothing on the chamber and nothing on the other kind of like places that I've checked out. So that's really about it this week.
Did it say what kind of trivia, or is it just trivia in general?
Well, let me click, see what they've got. Let's see here if it has any other additional info. Let's see here. Band Pride, music education, fun. So it's just basically a fundraiser type
This is a
thing.
fundraiser, trivia night
But
fundraiser.
it does
Okay.
not really say anything about what type of trivia. So just trivia night could be fun.
All right, yeah. If you want to go support the Owasso Band, definitely go out there and do some trivia night. I'm sure there'll be games, prizes, and other things that are going on there as well. So go out there and support the Owasso Band. They do good work. I said whenever we were in college, the Owasso Band came and played for the University of Tulsa multiple times while we were there in college, because the band at TU is so small that whenever a holiday comes up, they can't force the kids to stay and play in the band because they meet their required hours and whatnot. So they actually they recruit out. Like they'll be random people from Booker T showing up and just playing in the band, or they'll just hire a high school band to come play. And Owasso was always it. So definitely go out and support the Owasso Band. So they're doing good work, and they're a pretty impressive little group of kids. So
Yeah,
go out there and support the
absolutely.
Owasso Band. All right. As far as any other events go, I mean, that blood drive was coming up, and that's really about it. The Veterans of Foreign Wars breakfast on Saturday morning, so go out and sit with the vets and listen to their stories. They got lots of good stories to tell and say, so support the vets at the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the breakfast on Saturday. Now, that's about it as far as local news goes. In national news, I mean, the only thing that I found somewhat interesting was that whole Kari Lake talking to the he's like
He's a
recruitment chair for the RNC or something like that in the state of Arizona, and he is trying to convince her to drop out of the race because, according to him, Kari Lake recorded this entire conversation between the two of them, but according to them, powerful forces that be do not want her to run, and they said you can wait 2 years and then you can run, and that he was actually saying, "What's your price for dropping out of the Senate race?" And Kari Lake wasn't having it, but he kept probing, and he even indicated that, if this, like what she did, leaked the tape, essentially, he might be unalived, or start his car and it might explode on him or something on him. So that's some interesting stuff going on in the Republican
side
of things in Arizona. It's kind of wild that, I mean, and like it could just be him trying to scare her out of the race just by saying whatever he needs to say to scare her out. It's like, oh, the powers that be don't want you to be. But I mean, if we've known anything is true, we know that JFK was assassinated by some shadowy organization out there. Whether or not you believe it was just Lee Harvey Oswald up by himself, or if the FBI, the CIA, or even LBJ was involved. So we all know politics is getting more and more corrupt as time goes on. Nepotism's a real thing, and yeah, I mean the beauty of nepotism is these people are so incompetent that they get themselves caught. But that's a kind of wild thing to happen to Kari Lake. I mean she always seems like a straight shooter to me. She was a former journalist and worked as a journalist for that long and was a very trusted journalist in her career and field. So that's impressive in this day and age. So.
Mm-hmm.
I'm interested to kind of see what's going to happen with her, and hopefully she stays safe in all this.
Yeah, no kidding. And the other thing is Donald Trump did come out on top in the New Hampshire primary, and so he didn't exactly stomp Nikki Haley, but like I said, as we've seen from some reports and stuff, that it's clearly that this showed that Democrats were actually voting for her because they think that it's a better chance to win against Joe Biden, that more likely to get Joe Biden elected if she's the nominee, not Donald Trump. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Which is interesting.
It is, and it just goes to show you just how dirty politics has become. I mean, most people wouldn't have even bothered voting in the other party's thing because they're just so disgusted by the other party. But now, you got people sneaking in and trying to vote other candidates. So their biggest fear. But like you said, I mean, the media was so weaponized against Trump. There are people who generally believe that he caused an insurrection, that he shouldn't be on the ballot, that he's the evil monster dictator that the media said he was for 8 years essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a very different media today. It's a different narrative, and that narrative they spun about him. I mean, it wasn't Trump didn't lose the election. The media won the election for Biden by weaponizing the narrative against him. And like I said, that's the thing. We're always being sold a narrative, and that's what people just don't get. And we always gravitate towards the narratives that suit our side more. When a lot of us are, we are fundamentally almost incapable of removing ourselves from our biases. So be aware of that when you hear a narrative. It's like if you hear something about someone and you only hear bad things, you're being manipulated. Period. It's like when the communists say that, Stalin wasn't that bad. You're just like, I'm sure he had decent qualities about him. It's like, I remember listening to Bill Burr talk about how when he was he went to Normandy and kind of was looking through all the German trenches and, pillboxes and things like that. And when he was over there, he was like, Hitler required all the living areas have showers. And on the off chance that gas was used in the war, which gas was not used. The gas was a phenomenon solely used in the
World War
I, and it was just kind of a taboo in World War II. But what Bill Burr had said was, he was like, it's kind of eerie getting this humanizing feeling that it's like, wow, Hitler cared about the men and he didn't want them to suffer the things he suffered in World War I. So he required showers and sanitary areas so they could wash the gas off their bodies so they wouldn't have to suffer like he did. And I mean, it's a humanizing characteristic to somebody that we've been told all these horrible things about, which he did do horrible things. But like I said, then you get the other side where it's like he clearly loved the German people and loved what he was trying to build up and create. So it's this one-sided narrative that's, and like I said, again, I'm not defending the man at all by any means. But like I said, it's weird when you get those humanizing factors told to you from a historical perspective. You're like, oh, wow, that's interesting. The monster had some human qualities. So that's what's interesting. So I am concerned to kind of see where this is going to go. And like I said, I'm excited to see, hopefully there's no cheating there, and all this stuff with Nikki Haley, or not with Nikki Haley, but with Kari Lake was just a scare tactic and nothing more. But like I said, if it's something more, then gosh, we've got some sinister actors on both sides of the political aisle. So
agreed.
Scary stuff. So anyway, Be careful out there driving in, folks. That's about all we've got for you today. Be careful driving in. Like I said, traffic is literally standstill right now, especially over 76th Street Bridge. And I can't tell you what it's like on the other direction going once you pass that bridge and you go over to the railroad bridge, because I can't see anything down there. So be careful driving in today. Pay attention. And this is the Twins with the Owasso Live. We are signing off. I hope you all have a blessed day.